2025 is here. Happy New Year's to everyone because I'm doing something a little different to start off this year. I'm gonna do something even more scarier than leaking my browser history. I'm gonna read my comments. You hating so much, bro. Drop your own album. See if you can make better albums than him. I think being one of the many music reviewers on YouTube, one of the most dumbest comments we see occasionally from time and time again is this. People discrediting others for their take just because they don't make music themselves. They're not professional musicians, so why should they be qualified to speak on a piece of art that they themselves can't replicate? I can turn this thing into an analogy for other things besides music to really show how dumbfounded this argument really is. When Madam Web and Craven got universally bombed by reviews from both music critics and the general audience, if we follow that logic, we can't criticize how bad both movies are because we can't make them by ourselves. If you go to a restaurant and receive a subpar meal, would you be validated if the chef told you that you can't criticize his dish just because you can't make it yourself? When Zion Williamson is playing awful and keeps getting injured because he refuses to lose weight, we can't criticize him because we can't play at the same level as him. It's a stupid logic that fans only make when people like me talk shit about an album that they like. I know I gave Grade A's The Party Never Ends a 1 out of 10. I said that there's no good songs on the album. All of these tracks are just uninteresting slop far inferior to the songs Juice has made in the past. Don't talk to me about KTM Drip, Barbed Wire, Cuffed It. I already heard these tracks. They're mid. People on social media share opinions about all kinds of stuff that they themselves don't have the knowledge to make. So while I don't boldly complain about the many negative thoughts people have about my critique when it comes to album reviews, this comment just comes off as a brainless take from someone that was mad that I didn't dick ride the project. So this is a very long comment and it's basically about Destroy Lonely's Love Lasts Forever, a project that I think many people have already left behind way before 2024 ended. Basically, a few notable points this person makes is how I failed to mention how diverse the project is and how this album is far superior to his older projects. So I actually skimmed through this album before wanting to get my take on this comment, and after doing so, I don't see how diverse Love Lasts Forever is. I don't know what beat switches you're talking about on this album because there is none. Pretty much all of the tracks have an instrumental that starts and ends the same. Melody wise, I don't think Lone has changed too much. There's certainly more of that coming into play, but none of them sticks to my head and makes a long lasting impression. I do agree that If Looks Could Kill and Broken Heart aren't great either. My favorite project from Lone has always been No Stylist, but even that project struggles to keep up its consistency from front to back. So while I do understand where this opinion is coming from, none of this culminates into a very well sounding project despite Lone switching up a thing or two. So this one is about Mixtape Pluto, the third project that Future dropped this year, and how because it's a mixtape, it's just something for the fans and I shouldn't expect much else from it. I actually do agree with this take. It's not rare for artists to drop a mixtape for the fans to enjoy. You don't have to go through sample clearances and all that because you're not profiting off of it. Most mixtapes just come off as a random collection of songs that the artist just wants to put out to gain public exposure. I'll bet with Future's case, I don't think that's the case because he's Future, but I digress. The problem with judging a mixtape a bit lighter compared to albums is that it's kind of unfair for albums. It cannot be used as an excuse for why a project sucks. Future himself is no stranger to making mixtapes. Monster, which is a mixtape, is my favorite Future project. I still expect an artist to put some effort out of it. You can't just release a bunch of throwaways and expect me to like it, even if it's just for the fans. This next comment right here, I genuinely don't know if this is real or serious. I think it's a joke, but I can see a fan actually being serious about it. Before I even respond with this take, I just gotta respect bro for actually counting the amount of Twizzies and Tonkas Yeet said on Lifestyle. I gotta clap it up. I'm not gonna fact check this because why the fuck is that important to an album review? When I talked about Twizzies and Tonkas in my review, I was saying it as a reference and a joke. The most important aspect about reviewing music is being able to communicate with the general audience about what points that you're trying to make. Just because Yeet never said Twizzies doesn't mean that my points don't stand in my Lifestyle review. Also, you may be surprised to learn this, but I enjoy Lifestyle even less than when it first came out. It's not on the same level as 2093. 2093 was an album that saw Yeet branching out in the world of experimental music. Lifestyle is, if anything, a regression from Yeet, going back to making music that he's always been making but without the youthful energy that he presented on Up To Me, for example. I know some people are definitely surprised as to why Ice Spice wasn't on the top 10 worst albums of 2024, and I can explain. The biggest reason why Y2K got snubbed is its length. It is only 23 minutes. In order for a project to be this short and to make it on this list, you have to be making some of the worst shit that music has ever seen. I've listened to so many ass projects that stretch up to an hour or even longer than that. Hell, I would honestly even take this record over We Still Don't Trust You. I think that record got snubbed, but I know y'all ain't ready for that conversation. Yeah, I thought Y2K was very boring from front to back, but there wasn't really any song that stood out to be absolutely atrocious. I actually think the song Thank You to Shit is kind of hilarious. A song that many people consider to be snubbed is the KSI the KSI song Thick of It. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad that 2024 was a year we could all collectively agree that KSI is a shitty person. The dude literally spent months crashing out over a simple tweet Dan TDM rightfully made about him releasing processed garbage to kids. I expected the song to be awful bad, but it's just boring bad. It's a mid-ass song that belongs on the 4 out of 10 Disney soundtrack. You've heard songs like this many times throughout your childhood. KSI is an asshole, but worst song of the year? I don't think so. I think I'll end this video with this comment right here. Genre Sadboy was great. Emo rap isn't as popular as it used to be, so that's why it's hated. Trippy's vocals in the album remind me of 2018 Prime Trippy. We need to have a conversation for how overrated Life's a Trip is one day, but let's talk about this first. I completely disagree with this take. I think this project is such a step down for Trippie Redd artistically and creatively. Emo rap isn't hated by everyone. I know a friend who's a huge fan of emo rap, and he couldn't even finish this EP. To me, Genre Sadboy is a mockery of emo rap as a whole. MGK's a leech when it comes to making music. First, he started out as a bad rapper, then he became a bad pop punk artist, and now he's a emo rapper. This is a project I intend to make a review one day because it's so boring, it's insulting to the audience. It's a project where the two say a bunch of sad stuff to make an album without saying anything beyond that. It's as fruitless of a project you could ask for, and I don't regret putting this as my worst album of 2024. I'm gonna end this video by saying thank you to everyone for 1,500 subs. I thought about the prospect of hitting 1,000 before 2024 ends. I looked at my sub count back then and it was like 850 or something like that, and I'm like, yeah, there's no way I'm hitting it. So I didn't even bother to ask people to sub up. I dropped 2 videos, take a generational burnout, come back, and see my sub count skyrocket. Not even Akinator could have seen me accomplish this. I don't take this achievement for granted. I'm just truly thankful for everyone who has supported me over the past few months. It's really touching, no diddy. And yeah, let's hope that 2025 could be an even better year for hip-hop. Peace out.